In the 1950s, American tractors hit their true golden age. Thick steel, simple engines, and a kind of reliability you could stake a season on. Today, we're counting down the 10 most beloved tractors of the decade, each with a story of hard work and quiet pride. From cornfield legends to a true anniversary icon. And stay with me, because the number 1 tractor still wins hearts today. Number 10, the Minneapolis-Moline UB. If you grew up around Midwestern farms, the UB is the kind of tractor you remember at a glance. It doesn't try to look fancy. It sits square and sturdy, like a good fence post. Simple lines, honest metal, and a presence that says, "I'm here to work." When it's idling, you can almost hear that calm, even beat. The same steady rhythm that matches a long day in the field. From 1953 to 1955, that practicality mattered. The UB delivered steady pulling power for everyday jobs. Light tillage, cultivating, raking hay, hauling wagons, and all the routine chores that kept a family farm moving. It wasn't built to impress the neighbors. It was built to finish the day. Owners often describe the UB the same way. No frills, no drama, just dependable. It starts when it's supposed to. It runs with a steady rhythm, and it keeps going, even when the schedule is tight and the weather won't cooperate. That kind of reliability becomes a memory, not just a spec. Today, the UB is also a friendly entry into the collector world. You still see them at shows and small auctions, and there's plenty of shared know-how. Part sources, repair tips, paint codes, and stories from folks who've kept one alive for decades. It's a tractor that invites conversation, because so many people have seen one working behind a barn or rolling down a gravel lane. And speaking of kept alive, wait until you see number 9. A lot of folks say the next tractor is the true definition of durability. Number 9, the Ford 600 series. In many parts of rural America, the Ford 600 is a familiar sight. Parked by a red barn, easing down a dirt lane, or waiting by the gate for the next chore. It's not a giant tractor, and that is part of the charm. It feels compact, nimble, and ready to do a little bit of everything, which is exactly what small farms needed. In the mid-1950s, the design is practical and user-friendly. The controls are straightforward. The tractor is easy to handle, and it fits the kind of daily work that never makes the history books. Mowing pasture edges, pulling a small plow, grading a driveway, hauling firewood, or moving wagons during hay season. It's the kind of tractor that feels like home. For many owners, the 600 didn't replace hard work. It simply made hard work more manageable. What people love most is the long-term relationship. Families kept Ford 600 tractors for decades because they were efficient, easy on fuel, strong on work. And when something did need attention, repairs were usually within reach. For regular folks, with basic tools and patience, that matters, because a tractor you can understand is a tractor you can keep. Even today, if you want a classic tractor, you can still run and rely on. The Ford 600 remains a smart, realistic choice. It's a reminder that the best machines earn trust, one quiet day at a time. But if you're looking for a true anniversary icon, with a story tied to history itself, number 8 is the one you'll want to hear about. Number 8, the Ford NAA Golden Jubilee. Some tractors are remembered for pure work. The Golden Jubilee is remembered for something more. It carries a milestone. Ford built the NAA in 1953 and 1954 to mark an important anniversary, and you can feel that pride in the name alone. Golden Jubilee sounds like a celebration, and for many farm families, it still feels that way, like a tractor that belongs to a special chapter in American agriculture. People also remember it because it looks a little different. It has that clear Ford personality, but with its own identity. Clean lines, a confident stance, and a style that stands out in old photos and at modern tractor shows. When you see one sitting in the grass at sunrise, it doesn't just look like equipment. It looks like history you can touch. That emotional pull is why so many folks buy the NAA today. Yes, it can still do real work around a small farm, but many owners want it for what it represents. A piece of the 1950s, when farms were changing, machinery was improving, and families were building their lives one season at a time. The Golden Jubilee often becomes a kept tractor, restored, cared for, and passed down, because it feels like a family heirloom. The collector community around the NAA is strong. There are plenty of stories, parts sources, restoration tips, and shared knowledge, which makes owning one less intimidating and a lot more rewarding. Ask two owners about their Jubilee, and you'll usually hear two good stories. And now, as we move to number 7, the mood shifts. The next tractor has a different spirit, pure American farm muscle, tough and stubborn in the best way. Number 7, the Farmall Super M. If there is one word people use again and again for the Super M, it is workhorse. This is the tractor many farmers trusted, the way they trusted a good hired hand, steady, strong, and ready before the sun was fully up. Built in the early 1950s, the Super M earned its place by doing the same thing every day, pulling hard, running true, and helping families get through the season on time. For a lot of farmers, the Super M felt like a real upgrade that was worth the money. It had the kind of strength that let you move up to bigger jobs, cover more ground, and finish a field while the weather was still in your favor. In farming, time is everything. When rain is coming, you do not want almost enough tractor power. You want enough. And the Super M gave owners that confidence. And then there is the sound. Farmall engines have a rhythm that feels alive. It is not just noise. It is a steady beat that brings back memories of open fields, dust in the air, and the simple routine of moving row by row. For many people, hearing a Super M idle is like hearing a familiar voice from their childhood. That emotional connection is why the Farmall community is still so strong today. People restore them, show them, and talk about them the way they talk about old friends. Ask someone why they love a Super M, and they usually start with a story, not a number. But number 6 is where many folks say the working ability takes a big step forward. More pulling power, more capability, and a tractor built for bigger expectations. Number 6, the Farmall 400. When people talk about the Farmall 400, they often describe it as a true step up, not a small improvement, but the kind of upgrade that changes what a farm can get done in a day. Back in the mid-1950s, farms were growing and workloads were getting heavier. The 400 fit that moment. It felt like a tractor built for bigger expectations. What made it special was its working confidence. The Farmall 400 was comfortable on a larger operation, where you needed steady pulling power and dependable performance hour after hour. Whether it was field work, hauling, or long days during planting and harvest, the 400 gave owners that reassuring feeling. This machine was born to work. It didn't just handle jobs. It settled into them, like it knew the routine. For many farmers in the 1950s, buying a Farmall 400 was a milestone purchase. It often meant the farm was doing well enough to invest in more capacity, and that extra capacity mattered. With the 400, you could cover more acres, finish sooner, and plan bigger, because you weren't always fighting the clock. A tractor like this didn't just save time. It opened doors. That's also why so many Farmall 400s were kept for a long time. Owners held on to them because they were reliable, familiar, and worth fixing when something wore out. Over the years, the 400 became part of the farm's identity. One of those machines people remember seeing in the shed, season after season. Now, if you like a tractor that's not only capable, but also has a classic look, that's easy to fall in love with. Number 5 is the one that tends to bring a smile. Number 5, the Massey Ferguson 35. Some tractors win people over with brute strength. The MF35 wins hearts with balance. The first thing most folks notice is the look. Compact, clean, and well-proportioned. It just seems right. Like everything is exactly where it should be. Park one in the yard, and it doesn't feel oversized or awkward. It feels friendly, almost welcoming, like a tractor made to live close to the house and be used every day. And that is exactly how the MF35 earned its reputation. From the late 1950s into 1960, it showed up in countless places, doing real, everyday work. Mowing grass along fence lines, pulling a small trailer, working a garden, helping on a small farm, where one good tractor had to handle many different chores. The MF-35 became a familiar partner, not a specialized machine that only came out for one season. Owners also talk about how it feels to run. The driving experience is often described as comfortable and easy to manage, and that matters, especially for folks who like vintage equipment, but still want something they can use without turning every job into a wrestling match. The MF-35 has a calm, steady personality. It does not demand your attention every second. It lets you settle in and work. That's why it's also such a common entry point for collectors. If you're new to classic tractors, the MF-35 is approachable. There's plenty of support, plenty of shared knowledge, and plenty of examples still out there. You can restore one, show one, or simply use it, and it fits all three roles. But now, we move to number 4, a green legend. For many people, just hearing the name is enough to make them nod and smile. Number 4, the John Deere Model 60. By the early 1950s, John Deere had already built something that is hard to measure, trust, and the Model 60 is one of those names. People still say, with a certain respect, even decades later, it was not just a tractor you bought, it was a tractor you counted on, season after season, year after year. The Model 60 also has what many folks simply call the Deere feel. It starts with the sound. That steady, confident tone at idle is almost like a signature. Then there is the stance and the shape. Strong, clean, and unmistakably John Deere. And when it is working, it carries itself with a calm confidence, like it was built to stay in its lane and keep pulling until the job is finished. That kind of reliability creates loyalty. Many families held on to a Model 60, not just because it worked well, but because it became part of the farm story. It helped with planting. It helped with hay. It pulled loads when the ground was soft and the days were long. For some owners, the tractor outlasted changes in barns, fences, and even ownership because it was worth keeping. Over time, it stops feeling like a machine and starts feeling like a keepsake. In the Deere collector world, the Model 60 is often seen as a classic that captures the era perfectly. It has that true mid-century character, simple, solid, and built with pride. When you see one at a show, you do not just see paint and tires. You see a piece of American farm life. And now, number 3 is often considered the big brother. More muscle, more presence, and a real step into the heavy-duty class. Number 3, the John Deere 70. When people remember the John Deere 70, they usually remember one thing first: strength. This was a big, capable tractor built for heavy work. The kind of machine you chose when your acres were growing and your jobs were getting tougher. In the mid-1950s, a Deere 70 was not a casual purchase. It was a statement that a farm was serious and that work needed to move faster and more efficiently. On larger farms, the Deere 70 earned respect because it could handle long days without feeling pushed to the limit. It had that born-for-the-job character, steady power, confident pulling ability, and a sense that it could keep going, even when the workload did not let up. Farmers who ran a 70 often planned their seasons around real productivity. This tractor wasn't bought to sit clean in a shed. It was bought to earn its keep. The Deere 70 is also an icon in the most visual way. When you see one, you feel it. The size, the stance, the presence. Park it next to smaller tractors from the same era, and the 70 looks like the older brother. Bigger shoulders, a heavier footprint, and a kind of quiet authority. It doesn't need to be loud to be impressive. It simply looks ready. That is exactly why it still draws attention at tractor shows and county fairs today. The Deere 70 has display power. People walk toward it, take photos, and ask questions, not just because it is green and classic, but because it carries a strong personality. It represents the moment when tractors were becoming true engines of scale for American agriculture. But number 2 is admired in a different way. It is not only about size or muscle. The next tractor is loved for balance, smart design, practical performance, and a refined kind of confidence. Number 2, the Oliver Super 88. The Oliver Super 88 is loved because it gets the balance just right. It is strong enough to feel capable, but practical enough to feel sensible. In the 1950s, that mattered. A tractor had to do real work day after day, without turning every task into a struggle. The Super 88 fit neatly into that need, and many owners still speak of it with quiet respect. What you hear most from people who ran an Oliver is simple. It gave them peace of mind. The Super 88 was known for steady, dependable performance. It did not act fussy. It did not demand constant attention. It started, settled into a smooth rhythm, and kept working. For farmers who valued a tractor that ran, even and true, the Super 88 felt like a trustworthy partner. Oliver also had a special identity. It was never the loudest brand in the conversation. It did not need to be. Oliver tractors often attracted the kind of owner who paid attention to what mattered, how a machine held up over time, how it performed in the field, and how it treated you during a long day. People who liked Oliver tended to stay loyal, and that loyalty shows up even now in the way owners talk about them. In the collector world, the Super 88 still holds a solid place. It is a classic you can restore and show, but it is also a classic with enough capability to keep doing real work on a farm today. That mix, heritage plus usefulness, is exactly why the Super 88 remains so well respected. And now, we have reached number 1, a name many people see as the true face of the 1950s tractor era. When you hear it, you don't just think of a machine. You remember a whole time and place. Number 1, the Allis-Chalmers WD45. The WD45 earns the top spot because it captures the spirit of the 1950s at its best. Real work, real strength, and real trust. This was never a tractor built to be flashy. It was built to show up, pull hard, and keep going, especially when the day ran long. For many farmers, the WD45 was the kind of machine you could lean on, season after season, without feeling like you were gambling. But the reason folks truly love the WD45 goes deeper than performance. For a lot of rural families, this tractor is tied to memory. It brings back the image of a father or a grandfather out in the field, hands steady on the wheel, moving at that slow, patient pace that farming teaches. The WD45 didn't just pull equipment. In a way, it pulled childhood along with it. Dust in the air, the steady sound of an engine working, and that quiet feeling that everything was going to be all right, because the tractor was doing what it always did. And the WD45 feels honest when you run it. The design is straightforward. The personality is straightforward. You start it up, it settles into its rhythm, and it goes to work. No fuss, no drama, just a machine that seems to understand its job. And that kind of simplicity still matters, especially to people who respect tools that do what they're supposed to do. It's also perfect for collectors and for storytellers. The WD45 is well known, easy to recognize, and surrounded by real-life stories. Barn finds brought back to life, old paint uncovered under years of dust, and family tractors restored, then passed down like heirlooms. Every WD45 seems to come with a story, and that's what makes it unforgettable. Best of all, plenty of WD45 tractors are still working today, not just sitting in museums, but earning their keep. And that's the final proof. Good equipment never truly goes out of style. And that wraps up our countdown of 10 beloved tractors from the 1950s, a time when machines were built to serve a farm for a lifetime, not just a few seasons. Now it's your turn. Which tractor from this list did you grow up with? Or which one do you still remember most? And if you think we missed a true 1950s legend that deserves a spot in the top 10, leave it in the comments.